At the Storyboard 18 Digital Entertainment Summit in New Delhi, policymakers and industry leaders mapped out India's path to global leadership in digital entertainment, powered by talent, technology, and smart governance. On this special episode of Media Dialogues with Storyboard 18, we bring you the big voices and big ideas shaping the future of India's digital entertainment industry.
Problem is not gaming, it is excessive gaming and compulsive gaming. So we are into this compulsive gaming, we are against excessive gaming, and we are for responsible gaming. See, that is what we are trying to do, and none of our actions are taken on the table. We do a lot of research, we do go to the field, we have secondary data, primary data, we ourselves collect data. And we have done extensive research with 1,47,000 students, college, school students, and 17,000 teachers of college and school teachers, and to assess the behavior of the students on online gaming. It includes a lot of details. So the campaign, you know pretty well, the campaign can reach a limited person, but whereas the game can reach anybody at any time. So the campaign has to take its own phase. But now the gaming companies themselves have come forward and they have contributed on campaigning. You know the risk of the children involved in gaming, and the related risk, they also make it known to them so that they also aware of the risk of playing excessive gaming. So Tamil Nadu government has been taking this kind of step for the first time in India. In fact, it is a blueprint for the entire nation, this authority. We don't have anything to learn back from the past or turn the page and learn anything, because we have to invent everything, what is going to be our role, what we should do, what we should not do. We have faced a lot of legal challenges. We have sailed successfully, and we still face a lot of, see, it is part of your process. But still, at the end of the day, the TNOGA is able to deliver what it is mandated. Even now, we are going against a lot of ads which are published by the offshore betting companies and a lot of surrogate ads. I don't know anybody has done that so far. See, Tamil Nadu is not the only sufferer due to this offshore betting. And see, it is very clear why offshore betting companies are targeting India, because they have a huge population and their social life is, mobility is more, and they are able to spend more. So they are trying to target the young of the youth of the India. It is more so in southern part of India where we see that people are, educational level is also more, and they start playing. It is not educated person or youth or children are playing. Even you see people who earn very less, who earn 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees per day, they tend to go into these platforms. So identifying these platforms and taking action is against these platforms are very difficult, and they come in disguise. I don't have to say what are all the disguise they take about, opinion trading. I don't know whether you agree to it or not, but opinion trading, in my reading, it amounts to betting. So we are taking a lot of action against opinion trading companies. See, we all have to come forward. I ask you a simple question: how many of you are endorsing this surrogate advertisement of all these betting companies? Then you should know how many of you are, aware that they are doing surrogate advertisements, all these foreign betting companies.
Back in 2010, we had the same vision that we had today, right? Which is to put India on a global gaming map, right? That is what we are still after. And by the way, games just like any other softwares, is one of the most, in fact, it's nothing but a software, right, at the end of the day, and one of the most complex softwares to create in the world out there, right? And to do that, it's not going to be easy. And by the way, it's not just one or two company who can do it. It's going to be the entire ecosystem coming together to be able to do that. So yeah, that's the long story short. Rollercool and Dream Game Studios, and now we always, even after being a gaming company, right, we always look at the problem that we need to solve, right? So we have been, I mean, like cricket is like a religion in India, right? But we always notice that there is a big gap in the market, right? Especially if you look at from the perspective of cricket fans, they are not getting the experience that they deserve, right? It's as simple as that. I mean, look at other sports. For example, just look at football, just look at baseball, just look at basketball. When it comes to entertainment, the fans have something for them, right? There are like hardly few games you will know who were IPs, big IPs like couple of decades back, still big IPs today, right? You might have heard of Mario, right? It's not a big IP today, even though people talk about it, Pac-Man maybe. But FIFA, it was in fact first created in 1991, right? It's been like 35 years now. But anyways, just to quickly answer your question.
There was FIFA, there was Need for Speed, and there were so many of them.
Yes, yes, yes. So to answer your question, Dream Cricket is built to deliver to the fans what they truly deserve, right? To give them an experience equivalent or better than what FIFA is giving to, let's say, football fans. So, like what we say it often internally, why should football fans have all the fun, right? It's time for cricket fans to have fun as well. Definitely, global is a pretty good market. So there is a difference in behavior when it comes to Indian market and the global market as well, right? India, it is about more users, but less monetization. Globally, it is about less users, but more monetization. Definitely, India and global will converge at some point in the future. But from our side, our strategy is to first achieve the product market fit in India itself, right? Because ultimately what we are really solving for is our cricket fans, right? And the majority of cricket fans currently are in Indian subcontinent, right? So that is what we solve for. Once we achieve that is when we go global, which we believe is not going to be as steeper challenge as it has been in India. It was a very surreal and a proud moment for us, right? So first of all, the amount of time that PM Modi gave us was something that we were not expecting, right? Which actually shows his keen interest in gaming, and the way he was just watching our trailer, spoke to us, right? The attention was phenomenal, right? And he believed that it is one of the stepping stones. I believe all of us Indians, right, love cricket. And once we are able to see something which is able to truly capture its value, it's a big win. So I think what he might have seen is a game from India that he has never seen before. And we got a clear mandate from him, right? He's like, cricket is coming in LA Olympics now, right? So go global, target that, make that your target, right? So we have a PM mandate now for Dream Cricket, so that's exciting.
Our country hosted the historic World Audio, Visual and Entertainment Summit, WAVES 2025. It was not just another industry event, but a global celebration of storytelling, innovation, technology, cultural, and traditional exchanges. With participation from 77 nations, WAVES brought the world to India and showcased the immense creative potential we hold. It unified voices across continents, anchored in a shared belief that storytelling transcends boundaries, that creativity has no language, and the technology, when blended with culture, can truly inspire the changes. WAVES featured the global media dialogue, the Bharat Pavilion WaveX, Create in India Challenge, and the WAVES Bazaar. Friends, the government understands the shift deeply. That's why under the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji, we are creating the necessary policies and infrastructures and ecosystem to ensure this creative revolution reaches every corner of the world. The backbone of the revolution is the Digital India initiative launched almost a decade ago. What started as a mission to build digital infrastructure has now become a comprehensive ecosystem driving progress across sectors from Aadhaar and UPI. I would like to share a few figures that highlighting the magnitude of this shift. India has over 971 million internet subscribers and more than 562 million active smartphones. The media and entertainment sector alone reaches a valuation of rupees 2.5 trillion in 2024. These are not just numbers I am not mentioning here. They are indicators of the society deeply engaged with content, with ideas, with opportunity. Today, India is not merely a consumer of content, it is a prolific producer of stories, formal formats, technologies, and talents. From our smartest town to our largest metros, creativity is flourishing in our country. A shining example of the momentum is India's AVGC and XR sector. Animation, visual efforts, gaming, comics, and extended reality with over 3 lakh professionals and more than nearly 4,000 studios, we are rapidly becoming a global hub for creating technology. That's why our Hollywood movies, post-productions work are taking place in Chennai, in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, like cities. Our Hollywood's post-production works are done by our country, our engineers, our technicians, our skilled manpower. So this type of an emerging trend is happening in our serious efforts. Investment norms. We allowed 100% FDI to subsectors of media and entertainment sectors for the global co-production agreements, initiative under the Suit in India, in Indian policy, and partnership with the international studios are all driving rapid growth. These are more than policy decisions. They are pathway for global collaborations and domestic empowerment. 500 millions, India is emerging as one of the world's most vibrant gaming markets. Earlier gaming session was there here. In this digitally empowered era, the youth is involved in online gaming for the purpose of learning, employment, innovation, and cultural expression more than just leisure. Gaming today is an economic sector, a communication medium, and an art form all rolled into one. In this, where once games was seen as an time passer, but now it is an money maker.
As the Honorable Prime Minister mentioned, Waves is a movement that is being created. Waves is a movement being created for all of you, for the industry, for the content creators, because this is synonymous with our growth as a nation. This is synonymous with the demography that we currently are in, the youth, the young, the vibrancy of the demography that we have right now. And the media and entertainment industry is completely synonymous with this particular projection. And for our soft presence to flourish across the world, to blossom across the world, it's important that the message that all of us together crafted when we did Waves continues, the spirit continues, the passion continues, the vibrancy continues. And by connecting all the creators within our country and across the world, we are able to make connections across the countries, which was the tagline for Waves, connecting creators and connecting countries. So I think digital entertainment being the core theme in what Storyboard 18 is trying to engage with all of us today in this wonderful evening today, has a huge share in the overall media and entertainment landscape. While the media and the entertainment landscape has many components, the digital part of that particular component is increasing at the speed of knots, and it's easily the largest segment now, and in fact close to 55% and above of the advertisement expense. I mean, media and entertainment grows through either advertisements or subscription. And advertisements and subscriptions, the digital segment is now definitely more than the non-digital segment. And which in itself means that for this segment to grow, the digital segment has to grow at a much brisker pace. And all this can allow us to, become a global leader. But still, the journey is pretty long, and we have many miles to go before we can claim that particular spot in this hierarchy. And that's why it's important that our content goes out. And that's how Waves was important, because it was through Waves that we wanted to showcase our prowess to the rest of the world. And the message went loud and clear. Few days back, we had a video conference with the Japanese minister who had come to Waves, and he was having conversation with our Minister of State, who is also going to be coming in the evening for his program. And he made a very important claim. The minister from Japan made a very important claim, and he actually said that he was completely astounded by Waves. I mean, he said that I had not seen an event of this scale in the media and entertainment landscape ever in my life. This is what the minister from Japan said in an open video conference. And he said the creativity, the creatosphere, the kind of vibrancy which our creators were showing was completely unparalleled. All of you would agree that artificial intelligence and generative AI has been transforming every aspect of our life. Knowingly, unknowingly, wittingly, unwittingly. And obviously, the media and entertainment landscape is bound to get affected, and is already getting affected. Now, there's no limit to our ambitions now in terms of what AI can do in the media and entertainment landscape. From editing to dubbing to music production to animation, large number of segments are getting impacted. And it's important that we embrace all these gains and leverage these gains and, make it look, as they say, synergic with our efforts as a young demography, and combine that to multiply the content that comes out of our studios and our labs. When we crafted Waves, the idea was, as I mentioned, was not an event. It was actually a declaration to the world, more a declaration to the world that we are ready to lead the creative economy of the future. That was the overall objective. And finally, we could do it. We had participation from more than 100 countries. Can you believe it? More than 75 countries signed the Waves Declaration. I mean, at the ministerial level, talking about the growth that's required to be done in the creative economies. More than 1,000 companies participated in Waves. I mean, that's the kind of number, that's the kind of size of the media and entertainment industry in our country.
Years later, inspired by those memories, I have reimagined this simple board game with the power of technology, and I created Zoopy. At 21, when we started, I didn't fully realize there is a massive revolution and movement happening in entertainment space, specifically in online gaming. Today, through Zupi, we have transitioned an inherently Indian tradition from wooden boards to screens of over 150 million users. It has been entirely built by our talented young Indians. Zupi, I believe, epitomizes what our nation represents today, a dynamic fusion of tradition and innovation, of course, powered by technology. This blend captures the dual essence of India. We have a proud cultural heritage and an unmatched technology advantage. And what Honorable Jajuji was also saying, as leaders in digital entertainment, especially online gaming, our responsibility extends beyond just creating engaging products. We are shaping an industry that deeply impacts cultures, lives, and economies. So currently, India is the largest consumer of mobile games. I think it was mentioned, but not its largest creator yet. If you Google top 10 games that are played in India, only 1 or 2 would be Indian made. Rest, all of them are built outside India. I believe we are on the verge of changing this dynamic with immense support from progressive government promoting innovation combined with this huge movement of entrepreneurial energy. India stands poised not just to consume, but to shape the global entertainment landscape. As we speak, all of us know like a tsunami of innovation is coming our way, and it's just getting started, which is artificial intelligence. That's going to change everything about how we create, distribute, and consume entertainment. And gaming sits at the pinnacle of it because gaming is the only form of interactive entertainment. And that reflects in everything in terms of dollars spent, in terms of time spent, in terms of everything. Gaming is bigger than all other forms of entertainment. But it's not merely about entertainment. It is the catalyst for skill development, education, healthcare interventions, employment, and broader societal impact. However, with great potential comes an equally critical obligation. Technology inherently moves faster than regulation. And this is like one of the key problems that any country has to solve, how to balance between innovation and regulation. If you leave it open, bad actors enter the space. But if you make it too tight, you scare away innovation. So for development and leading innovation in any country, it's very, very important that we nail this balance. So that's why we believe conversations around ethics, user privacy, and consumer welfare must evolve alongside our innovation goals. Robust, transparent, and fair regulation combined with responsible industry practices isn't just preferable, it's non-negotiable as per us. While many in our industry view regulation as a limitation, at Zupi, we have proactively collaborated with all the policymakers because we understand a simple truth. Good regulation doesn't hinder innovation, it legitimizes and it accelerates it. I see my role and ours collectively as twofold. To push the boundaries of what's technologically achievable. As we look ahead, we must also remain ambitious. The technology backbone powering gaming today will inevitably become foundational across sectors, transforming how India educates, connects, and empowers its people. The seeds we plant in digital entertainment today will grow into lasting public goods tomorrow. Like one of the analogies I like to give is like Flipkart was one of the first startups in India. But through that one startup, there are like hundreds of more startups that were born outside it. So we believe all the cutting edge innovation in artificial intelligence and Gen AI is happening in gaming. And from gaming, we believe billions of dollars of adjacent industries are gonna emerge, whether it's been AR, VR, animation, all of that.
There has to be a harmonization. And something which is, something which is online, it is difficult to jurisdictionally control it, right? Because parts of it are here, parts of it are on some server across, parts of it are probably in Europe or Scandinavia, and it becomes difficult. Once, let's say, you spot a violation, investigation becomes difficult and costly. Now, to put sanity around all this, you need a national framework. It would be very worthwhile that some kind of a model framework is created, which then all states follow. See, what happened in British times was that all states followed this Indian Gambling Act, and then they made, later on, when we had this division of states in India, each state made its own gambling law. So it acted like a model act, and generally it is same section by section. But it's time that we understand that online gaming is very different, and it needs to have its own act. And hence, one should start with a harmonization of laws. So that is why there's a regulatory control by the central government, and wherein there are aspects which are very different with state governments. Rather than having this patchwork of governance, it should have one at least unified law across all country. And Budapest Convention was signed by 68 countries, but there were issues with Budapest Convention wherein part one of that was about information interchange regarding cybercrimes, but part two was then they started teaching us how to run a democracy. Now you can't tell the largest democracy how to run itself, right? And that's why India had issues in signing the Budapest Convention. But see, slowly, cybercrimes for the world became such a big problem that today the extent of this economy is almost thrice of Indian GDP. So the global cybercrime economy is going at $10.5 trillion this year. And that is why UN sat on a crime convention after 20 years, because the last crime convention that was there was on transnational organized crime. This time the UN actually has come up with a cybercrime convention, which was passed in December 2024. It will be ratified now in Vietnam in some time. So now we have a global cybercrime convention, and that will create a harmonization of laws everywhere. Because see, what happens is that law is a double-edged sword. For example, when GDPR happened, GDPR made it very, very difficult to investigate, because if you ask for information, all that is redacted under GDPR, and it becomes very, very difficult to obtain information under, let's say, MLAT. You see, policing is a state subject. So where it comes to policing, where it comes to investigation, collection of evidence, arrests, it's all within the jurisdictional competence of the state, and the state is empowered to do so. Where there are laws like an IT Act, that again can be enforced. If there's a criminal part of that, that is enforced by the state. So as far as aspects regarding policing powers are there, the states are free to do so. There are certain regulatory aspects which are rules under the IT Act, let's say about platform responsibility or about intermediary, safeguards. Then all of these all of this are implemented by the center. So there is good coordination between states and center regarding this. However, I still feel that the different states are at different level of capacity and capability in terms of forensics, in terms of skills, in terms of compute, in terms of sheer awareness regarding cybercrimes, in terms of procedures being known, evidentiary procedures being known, in terms of storing, processing, submitting these evidences to the court. All states are at, let's say, Chhattisgarh, Bihar, Odisha, Maharashtra, Karnataka would be all at different levels. And it's essential that the states look at this and invest in a way in which they can stop the deluge of cybercrimes that's coming. So see, there are various parts. There are things like takedown, which are the jurisdiction of center. So their coordination is needed. But if there is something physical which is happening there, then that can be handled by the states. However, if the states during an investigation find that here is an illegal app, which is transacting money in this way, which violates all these laws, including money laundering, let's say you saw the Chinese loan app scams, how they were happening, then you write to center and see to it that you write to the appropriate ministry for blocking of these apps so that they are not accessible within India. But see, there are always countermeasures. And if somebody has to do it, they are going to use VPNs and proxies and everything to circumvent. So digital space is very, very difficult to control in a way a physical space is. And hence regulation is not the only answer. There's a lot around platform responsibility and self-regulation by the platforms which needs to be thought about. Earlier, let's say if you blocked a particular site, then that chap, with a small change of spelling came up with a new site. But today, courts are giving broad blocking orders, also giving John Doe orders, which has really facilitated blocking of, malicious and harmful content and sites. However, I do believe that legal procedures are slow. It's difficult to get information, especially if information pertains to something which is overseas, then it becomes very difficult. Um, Encryption is one thing. Sometimes people are using encrypted apps, messaging platforms, and also anti-forensics, which makes it very difficult even to investigate. So let's say when you go to investigate, there's nothing to investigate because even if you recover something, it's encrypted, and it's encrypted in such a way that you cannot decrypt it, right? That makes it very, very difficult. So, and encryption is a good thing. Like all of the world's financial systems and militaries and confidential communication runs on encryption. But though it is protective of secrecy, it's also difficult because, as I said, it can become a double-edged sword. But I feel that there is a need for harmonization. Harmonization in 2-3 terms. One is that harmonization of all these laws across jurisdictions, because look at it from the point of view of any company, that they will have to deal with each regulator and their regulatory costs. And if there is no regulatory certainty, then it's difficult to do business. So there has to be some kind of a harmonization wherein, let's say, a model law is created and which is generally agreed upon by all the states, and then they can adapt. However, it is the entire jurisdictional competence of the state, and in the 7th schedule, it's within the powers of the state to legislate on that, and nobody can take that away. But logically, something which is non-jurisdictional by nature, right? Internet, you can't put borders on that. There are no borders on the internet. So then trying to adapt a land-based framework on something which is so ethereal is really difficult. And hence it would be easy, maybe easy even for enforcement, because it's not so that parts of that same crime would lie in the same state, right? It would not entirely happen. I mean, something like a physical thing like a murder, most of the parts of that offense and its investigation lie in that one place. But something which is online, it's all over the place. You don't even know where the server is, where the backup is, where it's being transmitted from, where the cloud is. So I believe that, and I reiterate that there's a harmonization of laws and regulations between the states, and also in line with what the center is thinking. The center may, let's say, take a developmental approach to this and say that we have to encourage a particular sector. You saw that Waves 2025 was held in Mumbai, and Honorable Prime Minister also said, and they also had a gaming arena there where large platforms participated. And Maharashtra itself wants to be the gaming capital of India. And at one place where we are encouraging this, there needs to be a harmonization across India where we speak the common language and there is no regulatory burden on part of the business itself.